Have you done when you can travel? Where's the first place you want to go? Have you done that? Because I always think about that.
Ooh, first place you want to go. I mean, are we gonna tell them where we're going? I mean, is we gonna talk about that? Is that too personal?
That is super. I feel like that can be
okay.
out a little bit longer. Just know that the 97 demo post-vaccination trip has already been planned.
Bonding trip.
No, the what's it called? The retreat, the company retreat, the company retreat, the company retreat, the company retreat.
Does that make these expenses taxable? Like
taxable? Whoa!
Like, I mean, tax deductible. Like, can I deduct?
I mean, the 97 demo is a company. I would say, I think it's a company. It's
as an LLC in the podcast space.
97 demo LLC.
As small
okay,
business
so
owners.
so for me, I want to go to either Australia or Tokyo. I actually had a trip to Tokyo already planned, and I was gonna go to Nintendo Worlds, but I had to cancel it because of
Tokyo's pretty sweet.
The virus.
I want to go to South America.
Yeah,
I want to go to like Brazil or Chile.
I just thought about a good opener, and now we've done it for too long. So I have to save it for another week.
Brazil.
We can start it again.
Brazil.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't like great. It was gonna build off the movie thing. And I just wanted to rant about how I'm so tired of all these like depressing movies about what my ancestors endured, because I just want I'm ready for escapism again. Like I'm just tired. That came to my mind because of the new Amazon show. What's it, the rip?
I'm excited for that. I read that book. The Underground Railroad, right?
Okay.
Oh, I was talking about them because I was so tired of these like dark depictions. I just want to.
I agree.
That's for another podcast.
My family be like, oh my gosh, no, you got to see Black and Blue. I'm like, I'm pretty good. I am pretty good.
I'm actually
especially
looking
working in news. It's like I see this in real life. I don't need to.
I don't need predictions.
I don't need to watch a show.
I'm actually looking forward to the Underground Railroad because I read the book, and Barry Jenkins is doing it. But like, I feel like all these other filmmakers are taking away from like people who can actually tell the story really well, like Barry Jenkins. And then when there's so many of these movies, it's like, when someone like Barry Jenkins puts out something, you're like, oh, not another one.
Well, yeah, but I don't care if they're good at this point. I'm just tired of the story being done.
I'm saying there's so many of them that even when there's a good one, you're just tired of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Wonder who the I think for me, it's like I wonder who the audience is. Because I feel like I've talked to this anecdotally a lot of Black people who are like, I'm tired of seeing this on TV. So it leads me to wonder, like, is this meant for the Black audience, or is this meant to like show white people what the Black experience may be, or like remind them of what Black people endured? Because it's like I'm good on that. Like, read a book.
Definitely the second one.
Sorry, that was such a. I'm gonna give us a solid C+. I'm gonna give us a C+ for entertainment, but like A+ for insight and.
Wait, we grading the podcast now?
We're grading
the podcast
now. I mean, that's what I'd give us for that intro. We'll come back swinging next.
Yeah, it ain't always got to be on music. We can get deep.
I mean, we're on music podcast, so it is on brand. But I like us when we get deep. That's fine. Shows that we're more than just music stands.
We know about other stuff, exactly. We're not idiots, guys.
Renault's actually written a book before, but we'll get to that next week. Welcome to the 97 Demo podcast, where we bring you the latest in music news, and a whole bunch along the way. I'm one of your three hosts, Nnamdi Agwanwu, joined by my two friends,
Noah, McGee,
and Avery Dalal.
Dalal, Noah, McGee.
It just doesn't have to be a thing anymore. Okay.
Still have not gotten that down, like how we say our names. Still have not gotten that down. Yeah, but it don't flow. It don't like. It's like, But go ahead.
Okay. No, go ahead. Tell us about Morgan Wallen.
Oh, me?
Was this not you?
I put this one in.
It wasn't me.
Oh, sorry, Avery, go on.
We can talk. Okay.
Let's talk about Morgan Wallen.
Our bane of our existence, Morgan Wallen, posted a 4-page handwritten note on his Instagram, and I was like, I am not reading that. So I found a CNN article that kind of summarized all of it. And he basically said he's not going to be capitalizing off of the success of his album, and he's going to take time to, quote unquote, work on himself. And he's basically not going to do any of the tour dates he had originally planned. This is, of course, following initially
is he keeping the profits?
Yeah, I think probably. No, this is following him. What was the first thing he did? He was supposed to be on SNL, and then he got taken off of SNL because he was like partying and kissing people without masks. Well, you can't kiss people. He was partying without a mask. And then after that, he was caught on video saying the N-word, very casually yelling at someone. And then, and that's where we are. And then his album had massive success. So that's where we're at with Morgan Wallen.
You know, I'm kind of just like, I'm over this story. It's just like, I sure, thanks for the note. You don't want to go on tour anymore. That's cool. I don't know. You're saying you're not going to capitalize, but I'm sure you're taking in the profits from your album, which has spent its first 10 weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200. SNL, and you said the SNL thing. I'm like, SNL invited him back on a couple weeks later. Like, it's like, I'm just over this vain sort of.
Well, that was before the video came out.
Yeah, but I'm saying after the kissing thing,
right? He was invited back to SNL after he was,
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, you know, I feel like accountability, and this is really weird. I will always say I kind of enjoyed seeing the country music industry take more of a stern stand and at least try to hold him accountable. You know, they pulled his songs from radio, they canceled his TV appearances, his label temporarily suspended his contract, even though I'm sure with the success of that album, that's not a thing anymore. So, I mean, cool.
Yeah, I think he's going with all that. I think it's like I want him to go. I want him to go away. He needs to go away, not be on social media, be away for a couple years. Seriously, just like go away. I think we're pretty done. And the best way is for him to go. I want to forget about him. I don't want any more statements from his people, from him. He need to go away, lock himself down in his mansion. I'm sure he has a nice house. He'll be fine. You know, he probably may play.
He's not gonna do that.
I hope he does. If he says I'm not gonna do anything for the rest for a while, is it a year or 2 years? That's what I want to know. But I hope
he's gonna take like 3 months off and then come up with a summer song. And
oh my god!
And then my thing is,
no,
like,
he can't.
I'm like, well, COVID probably wasn't gonna let you do a summer tour, for being honest. But my thing is just like, what does that even do though? Like, what does Morgan Wallen disappearing for 2 years do? Like, is like I held myself accountable? I don't know. I'm a big like actions speak louder than words, so it's like go do something.
They donate money. They ain't donate money. He donated money, right?
Well, I don't remember hearing about him donating. I remember hearing he talked to some amazing organizations.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I don't remember him saying I'm donating. So it's just like Morgan Wallen is just gonna like go. He has a base. This has shown me that like while the industry may be a little bit firm, actual fans still ride him. So it's like, okay, thanks for the four letter note to you, Morgan.
Oh yeah. That was right. The guy who wrote for his album is donating, not him.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Isbell.
Who's an artist in his own right.
Oh, so that's a separate country star who just co-wrote. He was like, I'm donating some of my writing revenue.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Morgan.
All right, next headline. I thought this was kind of interesting. Spotify is venturing into the hardware department.
Wait, was this? I thought this was the week where we each brought a headline and we're explaining it to each other. I thought that.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, but maybe we'll just push that to next week because we didn't do that. So Spotify is venturing into the hardware business. They came out with something called the car thing. I'm not misdescribing that as the name of the piece of hardware, but it's something that attaches to like your air vents and plays Spotify's music. And if you are a premium Spotify member, I think you can get it for free, and all you have to do is pay $7 for it for shipping.
Avery and Nnamdi,
like on a list. I put myself on the list. Who knows if I'll get it? But
okay.
Yeah.
So it's not guaranteed you'll get it. It's like a raffle,
kind of. Yeah. And otherwise, it's $80.
Oh,
so
damn.
I believe they're like the first streaming service, or at least of the major two, to actually get into hardware. Apple has CarPlay, but that's more like a software feature. So, what do you guys think?
I feel like they probably did this in response. Does it just do music? Is all it is? So is this? It's like an iPod Nano kind of, or like an iPod.
Yeah, and it has voice, touch, and physical controls.
I'm confused why this would happen. If you already have your phone, you connect to Bluetooth, you can do everything on your phone with that.
Well, I guess because ideally you could just leave this in the car all the time. So maybe it's like.
I feel that, but people bring their phones everywhere anyway. So. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
When I sent it to my dad to be like, oh, look at this, it's kind of interesting. He was like, what's the point? He was like, you can just hook your phone up to Bluetooth.
Yeah, I just like Spotify is not like, the thing with Apple is like, they make computers, they make iPods, like they had all that first, you know what I'm saying? That was their thing, and it was like iTunes and then Apple Music. Spotify is just a streaming service, and it's like,
I mean, they just started as a streaming service. They could expand to physical hardware.
Sure, but I'm confused what the point is though. Like, I'm confused what the point is.
Make more to like Versa. Spotify is gonna expand. They can't. I don't think they want to just limit their source revenue to like streaming and different variations of streaming and advertising. Like, it makes sense that they're expanding into physical hardware. I'm just more so shocked that this was a start, because I guess like y'all are saying, we have phones. So like,
so the next step is phone. The next step is phone, it feels like.
That's why I was wondering if there was something more that it does, because it's like, again, if I have a phone, or most cars can do Bluetooth, why would I?
This kind of feels like a test run, I guess. Like they're testing the waters with this little raffle thing you sign up for, right, Avery? Like it feels like they're kind of testing the waters.
It's kind of like a beta, I guess.
Beta?
Like a soft launch.
Can you
it's
still,
like limited.
Can you still try to sign up?
Yeah, you can. You can still put your email in there, and they'll contact you.
You have to be what if you're on a free trial? What if I'm on a free trial? Could I premium free trial?
I guess worth a shot.
I don't know. Do you have to like verify your account and stuff? I don't know.
No, I literally just signed in, and then.
Oh, okay.
And
That's interesting.
No, you can't get it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So speaking of Spotify, now we're gonna go back to its
Apple Music.
Competitor.
So
this picture.
So I thought this was interesting. It came out yesterday from the Wall Street Journal. But basically, Apple Music, in a letter to artists, because they're trying to encourage more artists to use their platform, they revealed how much they actually pay. Not even artists. I'm going to specify this: the rights holders. So I feel like a couple weeks ago we talked about the importance of owning, writing your music and owning, its rights. They talked about how much they're paying the music rights holder, so the person actually owns the music. So the lavish amount that an artist gets, or the music rights holder gets, every time you stream is a penny. 1 penny per song. And before you say per stream, and before you say, dang, that's low, that's actually almost double what Spotify pays. Spotify does about a third of a penny to a half penny per stream. But the thing about it is, Spotify has such a larger base than Apple Music. I think with Apple Music, there's like 60 million subscribers. Spotify has 155 million. So even though Spotify pays less per stream, you actually end up getting a bigger payout because they have more people streaming. But I just thought this is still interesting, because it just shows you how much the industry has changed. You're getting a penny per stream. So that means if someone has a song that does super successful and gets like 10 million streams, how much money would they be getting from that? So you move the decimal two things. Let me go back to math. You move the decimal twice.
Just keep talking.
So 10 million, 1 million.
Avery doing the math over here.
100,000. So you would get $100,000 for every 10 million streams. Like, that kind of sounds like, when it puts it in perspective, you kind of understand how much the industry has changed and how streaming just can't be a feasible source of income. I think it's why so many artists have to do touring now and rely so much on merchandise sales, because that's just not that much money. And that's considered the high end. When you think of Spotify doing half a penny per stream, that's $50,000 for every 10 million streams you get. So I just thought that was such a fascinating insight into the music industry, and like how much artists actually make and how hard it is now. Like, back in the day when you were signed to a label, you only have album revenue. An album was $9.99. So if someone bought your album, that's $9.99. A song was $1.99. So if someone bought your song, that's $1.99. Now you're getting a penny per stream.
That's interesting, because like we're talking about, that many, like 10 million streams. That's usually for the most popular artists. But what about the artists that are independent or don't have a bigger fan base? It's like they're even hurt even more. That's why, Nnamdi always says it, like Tidal, like what they're doing. It's like crazy, because we're talking about this hurting, but you're saying it's hard for artists to make money. But artists who are getting 10 million streams are usually the most popular, bigger artists in the industry. Am I correct? It sounds right. So like, for the artists that are smaller or not as popular, they're hurting even more. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Yeah, it is just a testament of how much the industry has changed. How hard it is to get paid based off people listening to your music. It feels like artists don't make most of their money away from music, or like away from like people listening to or buying their album and stuff like that. It's from everything else. It's pretty insane. So I don't know.
And it's just so complex. The more I read about this, it is just so complex. It's not even, it doesn't end there. They have like per stream payout rates and like that's different, and average monthly listeners, how that factors into it. It's just such a complex like payment system. Hopefully artists get something, especially newer artists, because that's tough.
I don't know if you guys can answer this, but like, you know, when it's like Drake sold 600,000 albums and 300,000 of that came from streams. So say Drake sold that in like 2005 or something when streaming wasn't available. Is he making the same amount of money? So all those like album sales from streaming count as like a $9.99 album? I wonder that. I don't know. I'm interested in that. Like, I don't know. Like, is an artist selling 600,000 albums now making the same amount that an artist sold 600,000 in like 2003 or whatever?
The streaming industry.
Yeah, that's
streaming,
what.
Yeah, so I would say no, because streaming has devalued music. Like, you have to remember, I don't think the industry wanted to do streaming. LimeWire just existed and people were getting music for free, so they had to do an alternative to like traditional payments.
What are you talking about? Like, when you say sell, I mean like actually, like if you sell 600,000, that's awesome, and you're making more than someone did in 2003, because that's another revenue stream you have on top of streaming, on top of people streaming that album. Right?
No,
I'm saying like
those aren't two separate sources of income. Like when someone sells 600 and something thousand, it's typically like physical 200K streams.
Yes,
like
right.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
So it's like it's not the same, you know.
Yeah, gotcha. I think it's there. I agree with you, Nnamdi, because of streaming, it feels like they want to make the same amount of money. So I don't know. It's just an interesting. It's crazy, man. Because I remember streaming, like when Spotify first came, it was like you can stream this for free, for no money at all, and now it's just normal. So
yeah. Who remember when that happened? Like, what's the catch?
Or when I was like YouTube, where you can literally watch things for free.
I remember back on YouTube before Vivo took over, and that Vivo was really the first corporatization of YouTube. Because after that, they did the ads. Like, who remembers when YouTube didn't have any ads and was just like user
back in the good old days?
Long.
Now you get like 8 ads a video.
Y'all remember on the first iPod Touch when the YouTube was that old TV? The app was the old TV.
Yeah.
Back when Apple and Google played. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Google didn't own YouTube at that point, right?
No, it was separate. Yeah. It was separate. Now
YouTube and Apple played.
Oh, how the times have changed.
Man, we're old guys. But yeah, so
okay, so let's go to new releases. This is kind of a good week, I feel, especially for rap. You had Slime Language 2, which is Young Thug and Crew.
Ooh, I like the way you did that.
Yeah, there you see my little bars coming out even when I don't try. La My Kina, Conway the Machine, My Parade, I Love McCona, and then, you know, a couple new songs, T Grizzly G Herbo, Big Crit, Moneybag Yo. So what did you listen to, friends?
Yo, this is not the highlight of this, but one that stood out when I was looking at new releases. I don't know if y'all see this. Low Key in Love, The Struts, and Paris Jackson. Yes, that's Michael Jackson's daughter on that song.
Oh, good for her.
I was like, oh.
Did you listen to it?
I did.
How was it?
Not my speed. Actually, you know what's so crazy? Somebody uppercase it. It was slow. It's stylized lowercase. It's lowercase. It's like stylized like it's all lowercase. No, it's okay.
It's a whole.
It's okay. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Well,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. Yeah, journalists. I know. AP style gets. I know. I don't know how I felt about it. It's not really for me, but I don't know.
Thinking, even if the style of the song wasn't your beat, because I know, was it like alternative? Was it like rock? Like what? I just like that's separate. That's a separate question. Separate question is, and then how was her singing? Like, I just want to know, like, does she sound good?
She's okay. Not an incredible singer. Not like incredible vocals. Like, I don't know. It just feels like Paris Jackson. You would assume like, oh my gosh, Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But we can get some more.
What style was the song? Rock? Like, was it rock? Alternative? Like, I feel like she probably leans to that, like alternative.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's the Struts. It's the Struts. Avery, are you familiar with the Struts? Is that a group?
They sound like a rock group.
I think it's a rock. I think it was in that rock alternative poppy like kind of sound. I don't know. It's like poppy rock. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know. Poppy rock. I don't know. I made up a genre.
I listened to the Drake song on Slime Language too. I liked that. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I really did like the Young Thug Drake collab.
That was pretty good.
The Drake song was good. Yeah, there's so many people on YS.
Have any of you listened to the album?
The whole thing? No. But I know Young Thug, Gunna. Who else is on there? The guy who was on Double XL. I forgot. Crap. He had the terrible freestyle. I forgot his name. I forgot his name. It was a lot. It was like
you have to specify
another Lil or Young something. I don't know. I forgot his name. Crap. I forgot. Oh man, I'm gonna get it back.
Keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking. But yeah, I don't know. But that Drake song was really good. I actually like that. Drake is just
Travis Scott's on it.
Travis Scott's on it too. Yeah.
And Big Sean.
Lil Uzi. People like that Lil Uzi line.
Even on the songs are just credited as YSL and then Young Thug, Gunna. That's so interesting to me.
Yeah.
Why are there 23 songs?
Those are the main ones credited on each.
Because it's a compilation album, basically.
Yeah,
but like when Young Money did that, they credited each of those individual artists. Like seems like this, or just saying YSL and then whoever else is featured.
But remember in Dreamville, it says J. Cole and Dreamville and J. Cole. Remember it said that. It says that on Apple Music, at least for me.
I feel like that was specific. Like when you go to the actual track listing though, it doesn't. It's not like Dreamville featuring X, Y, and Z. It's like it credits each artist.
I like the album art, the green dog.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. So I don't know. Green dog. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, the green dog. Yeah. I didn't even notice that. I was like, green dog. What? Okay. The highlight for me though was this Conway the Machine, La Machina. Yo, he's tired of being underrated, bro. He's tired of it. He's tired. He even said on that. He was like, Westside Gunn's the brains and Benny is a star. And he said, I just come with them hard. Something like that. I was like, he tired. He tired of it. He tired of the BS. He's tired of people hating on his downfall, Nnamdi. He's tired of people praying on his downfall.
5 times in 2 songs.
He just
I just want the record to be said. I've been saying N-words is praying on my downfall.
Bet you won't say that. I bet you won't say that to him.
I can back Nnamdi up on that. For as long as I've known Nnamdi, he's been saying that.
That's true.
Can I say my unpopular Griselda opinion though? And I think I've said this before, but I just give me time to enjoy your music.
I'm with you.
Let it breathe. Because my thing is like, I get that that's becoming their brand, which is nice. Like, just active, like putting it out music nonstop. But it's like, wait 6 months and pick the best 10 and give it to me. Like I just don't need this much music.
They have so much music.
I think it's impacting. I honestly think it's impacting them negatively. I think they're.
No, I don't think. Actually, I don't think it is because
I'm saying cool, but I'm saying I think it is because I think when you have a really good project, you have to like soak in that glory for a little bit and let people really enjoy it. And they had a lot of good music last year. But when you actively push to the next, you're saying, okay, like forget that, keep on going. And I think they're doing it with the hopes of like the more music we put out, the quicker somebody will like catch on, more people will catch on. But for me, it's like, nah, just wait. Like he's put out 2 albums already, 2021. Just wait. Take those 20 songs and
put it 2. What was the other one?
I don't know, but I saw it on Spotify. He's Conway the Machine. This is his second
this year.
Yeah. You should look.
Oh yeah, he did. It bleeds. Oh yeah, that's right. Dang. Oh yeah, and they do. That's true. God, please. Forgot about it.
My point, my exact point, and you that could have been great, and you forgot about it because
that's true, and that was a good project too. God damn, I don't know. I do agree. It's just I like them so much, and it's all so good. It can't all kind of blend together. It's like, and none of it's bad, but I kind of do agree, and that's the thing. Underground artists are doing more of the thing of like, I'm gonna release 2 albums this year, and then an EP, like 2 albums and EP in a year. Like that's just more of a thing. Like. I don't know. And y'all know me, I hate when artists like I told y'all with Drake, like, and maybe because I'm such a fan of like Griselda, but Drake, I'm tired of the albums releasing every year. Like I'm gonna take a couple years off. Like I love that Kendrick's taking a lot of time off. I love that. I love that. And then when he comes back, it's gonna be crazy, But I agree. There's a balance. There's a balance to it. And I feel like only a couple artists have like balanced the, waiting too long and too much. There's a middle ground to me. I don't know. I can't think of artists. You guys think of some artists that have like balanced that of when to release music, when to wait? Schoolboy Q,
I think most people, if they stick to the like once a year, every other year formula, it's fine.
I don't like J. Cole does a pretty good job, like every 2 to 3 years.
I like that. I don't like once a year.
Because even like the couple years we didn't get a J. Cole album, we got Dreamville. So it's like there's some music to out there.
Yeah, I like J. Cole. He's done a good job. It's like every 2 years, right around the time I'm here. And he'll have like features to say he's getting ready to, and bam. Like, I like that. I agree. And it seems like this year we might get it.
I have to shout out the Paul McCartney album. So I listened to it and I don't know how to really evaluate it. There's songs, so like every song has a feature on it.
Wait,
there's like a song with like Phoebe Bridgers where Paul McCartney doesn't sing at all, and it's just all Phoebe Bridgers. But then there's a song.
Khaled, you can't be the vocalist of the Beatles and try to pull a DJ Khaled.
But then there's a song that's an Anderson .Paak remix, but Anderson .Paak's not on it at all, singing at least. I think he's playing drums on it, and Paul McCartney's singing the whole time.
Well,
so it's really interesting.
This one is like a remix album to the one that came out last year, right?
Right.
It's like a remix album, right? Paul McCartney be having some interesting collaborations. I actually listened to the Anderson .Paak track because I was interested. I was like, oh, and I was like, I don't hear him singing or rapping or anything. I kind of hoped he was singing or something or did something because he can fit that sound. I
want to review a Paul McCartney album or like someone from that era. Like the next time there's like an album from like a Paul McCartney or like a
somebody from the '60s,
or like I want to review it.
Yeah,
because why not? You know,
that'd be interesting.
The Phoebe Bridgers song is really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
You liked him with the Ascension. I remember that from our alternative.
Yeah, loved them. Yeah. The album that he's coming out with is like 30 songs, guys. It's like 30 songs. It's ridiculous.
Maybe the indie people get mad at me when I say this. He's kind of a pretentious artist. He does a lot of things where I'm just kind of like,
wait,
what's the point? But he has stands, so
he had the album.
I don't think. Is this just Is this called Lamentations?
It's called Lamentations.
It's 10 songs that I see.
Yeah, but okay, what I see it on is this thing called Convocations, and it has Meditation, which is 10, Lamentations 10, and then it has. Basically, I see it on here as 49 songs. It's all like, I don't know what he's doing with this.
Wow, maybe that's the Apple Music. I don't see. I only see. That's a playlist.
Oh, that's a playlist.
A playlist I think that's like a playlist of his. At least that's the way it shows it on Spotify, like his recent stuff.
Up here it says Convocation, Subchance Demons, upcoming album. That's what it says on here.
Maybe Apple Music and Spotify are different with that, but I mean that's cool. Maybe. I haven't listened to it, but I'm sure I enjoyed the Ascension, so I'm sure that this will be it'll be cool.
Yeah. Another song I like was the Big K.R.I.T song, Pick Up the Pace from Mississippi. Big K.R.I.T, he's dope. Big K.R.I.T is like, he's like the underground version of J. Cole. He's like underrated. He was like, people thought, because he was coming up around J. Cole and Kendrick and all that stuff. He's literally from that era, like the internet era of that. And people thought he was going to be the next guy. He makes music that's great for the radio. And dude has never broken through like he thought he would. He was signed to Def Jam with like Logic and all them and 2 Chainz, like in 2015, 2016. And he just never has broken through. And then Def Jam, he left Def Jam. Now he's underground. So yeah, Big K.R.I.T, he's just super consistent, kind of like J. Cole.
Did anyone listen to Been to War? Swiss Beats, DMX, French Montana. I wish I listened to that. I'm just now seeing it on this list for the first time. I wonder if that's DMX's last credit.
I guarantee
sure, he'll pop up in some other stuff.
I guarantee he'll pop up. Drake probably gonna use a little DMX thing.
Nipsey Hussle still has verses coming out. So
exactly. I mean, he was on Big Sean album. True. He was on YG album. It's like, yeah. It's gonna be a forever thing. There's Tupac stuff still coming out. So
it seems like these dudes have like so much music in their back catalog, and like that's
kind of cool though. It lets their legacy live on. But yeah. So
Avery, do you want to take us into the episode?
Yeah, let's get it. So today we have a review of Brockhampton's 7th studio album and the second trilogy, to cap off their second little trilogy.
Yeah.
Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine came out last week. And yeah, I don't really know what more there is to say about this. It's a really interesting album. They had their Saturation trilogy with Amir Van, who was then kicked out of the group righteously. And then they came out with Iridescence and then Ginger, which I would say came out to like kind of mixed reviews. I like them. I know you guys have more mixed feelings on them, but definitely was not the sound that you would expect from Brockhampton after Saturation. Iridescence seemed like it tried to do a Saturation-esque thing, and then Ginger was just very solemn and sad. And so I think, to me, with Roadrunner, they kind of tried to toe the line between those two sounds that they've experimented with in these last 5 albums. And we got Roadrunner. So what do you guys think? What are your general thoughts?
I think it's also good to mention that in the interview with Pantano, he said this is their last album. Not their last album, but
they have one more apparently coming out this year.
Yeah, one more K.R.I.T that's year, but they said they're gonna like do their own thing eventually, kind of like a Wu-Tang thing, kind of like, hey, we're gonna go do our own thing. So I find that interesting also. But
Was
So
that
I'm
the
not
thing
sure.
Kevin Abstract said, where he was like, "This will be like once we do." Wait, where did we see? They said that like, "Oh, we're done after this year."
They tweeted that they have 2 albums coming out this year, and this was one of them.
yeah, and
But
yeah,
did,
but I
but did they say, but I'm asking, do they say like, but we're done at like we're going our separate ways
yeah,
after?
in Fantano's interview, he asked him, "Are you guys gonna break up?" And he was like, "Not break up, but are you guys gonna kind of go your own way?" He was like, "Yeah, I think you put so much into this, and we kind of think we can all do our own thing." You know what I'm saying? So I think it's happening because Kevin Abstract has done his own project before.
Yeah, Matt Champion has.
Yeah,
A few of them have dropped their own.
Yeah, Don McClendon had a single. He don't have a project, but he has a single. So I can see that happening, and I believe him. I mean, shoot, there's 15 of them. So yeah, so only 7 vocalists, but 15 of them in the group. So I mean, I don't know how many now because so many people have gone and left. So not so many people, but a couple. But yeah, so it was a very interesting.
I didn't realize it until like I started Googling Brockhampton today that this was actually like the cap of a second trilogy, which makes sense now that I think about it. But in the moment, I didn't know, and it has a name. I'm about to find. I think it's like the best years of our lives or something like that.
Yeah, I think
best
it's like
years of our lives trilogy.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as how I felt about the album, I liked it a lot. I've been trying to decide all week if I think this is my favorite Brockhampton album, and I'm gonna give that some room to breathe. So I don't want to make a claim too soon, but I definitely enjoyed it. And I think I see the growth. When I look at their past work, I think for me, it was like, I'm sorry, I'm still kind of trying to find like best years of our lives. That's what it's called. Okay. For me, it was like, I think they came out so hot with the Saturation trilogy, which actually wasn't their first project. They had the one album before that.
All American Trash.
All American Trash, which may have been like an EP, but they came out so hot with Saturation, and that trilogy was so great. And then, they went through the stuff with the Mirror Van and came out with Ginger. I mean, no, not Ginger, Iridescence. And I re-listened to Iridescence today, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very, very strong album, and I'm not sure why before re-listening to it, my general feeling was like, And the only way I could say is because it was so similar to the Saturation trilogy that we had just spent an entire year. Because remember, they released all 3 in 1 year. It was all 2017. So we just spent like all this time with this sound. They came out with a 4th album essentially that was just like it. And I think maybe we just had fatigue. And I think that's what happened to Brockhampton. That's why it was like they were a moment that we left. And then they came out with Ginger, which to me, that was the album that I was less keen on, because I was like, you're doing something different, but I'm not sure if I like what you're doing that's different. Like that was a song that I think the album that I think had the most skips for me. I think that's why the general taste in our mouth for Brockhampton, for a lot of people I would speak to after Ginger, was like, oh yeah, they kind of fell off. I don't know what happened. Like
Ginger was also their biggest commercial success, though, too.
They had go number
Sugar. 1. Yeah, Sugar was their biggest. Sugar was like their most popular song, I think, commercially.
But Iridescence was the first album they had that peaked at number 1. Ginger peaked at number 3.
Yeah.
And just from a critical acclaim perspective, I know Iridescence, like I think Metacritic gave it like an 8 versus Ginger that had a 6.5. So I do know it's significant because it had the single that charted. I think it peaked at like 66 or something on the Billboard Hot 100. But I say that all to say, for me at least, Ginger was this kind of break that I was like, okay, y'all kind of fell off here at your moment. Let me see what you do on your own. With Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine, it feels like a fresh start. That's why it's so weird to think about it as the end of a trilogy. Because did y'all notice that this is the first album they've had that has features?
Yep.
This is the first Brockhampton project with
any features. That's why I brought up when Buzzcut came out, their first single off this. I thought it was so interesting that they were finally getting some high-profile features. I thought it was so refreshing for Brockhampton.
Yeah, I agree.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It was like refreshing, and that's how I feel about this entire thing. And like, they're still keeping the Brockhampton style of like these hard-hitting, abrasive beats and production, and they come at you fast and hard with their bars. I think they all rap pretty well. Kevin Abstract is telling you incredibly perfect personal things about his lives, while also like giving you a killer melody. So is my boy
Joba.
I was like, is it Joba? In my head, I was like, Joba. And my boy Joba, and we'll get to the light, but it was just, it was like they learned they managed to perfect the saturation sound while also refreshing it, but it's also the end of a trilogy, you know? So I was a fan. So to say I was a big fan of it.
This just sounds like a natural growth to me personally, because I mean, like the first saturation, the first one, it just wasn't for me. There was a couple songs, but it just wasn't for me overall. And this just feels like a natural growth, and it just feels like their sound more realized to me. I don't know, to me personally. Yeah, I love the intro. If we're gonna start getting the tracks and stuff like that, like the way they came in, like, who let the dope boys out? Like the way they just came in, it was pretty hard hitting and pretty exciting. Kind of like Run the Jewels-ish in terms of like an intro.
That's a good comparison.
You know, like Run the Jewels just comes like bang, you know, like it was just bang, you know, and they just go in. And Kevin Abstract, you know, clearly I would say kind of like the leader, and he's the main guy. He's the main guy.
The main guy.
No, I don't. I think they'd probably resent you for saying that if you said Kevin. I think he's a founding member, but I wouldn't say he's the leader. I don't think they have a leader.
I mean, he's like the point person for all
the point guy, though.
Too.
He's the point guy for sure. I say he's the point guy. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's not a shot at those guys. I mean,
I don't know if the other members would agree with him. I think he became the point guy because he was one of the founding members, and he would rap, you know, about personal stuff, and he ended up being this gay guy, and he pushed that forward a lot. And I think he got a larger base because of that. But I think that's more of a equal socialist.
They all say that. You know, all groups say that. But there's always a number one guy. There's always a guy. You know.
He's not like the guy. He's just like the point guy. He's the guy who tweets about he's the guy who tweets about all the communication for the group. Like, he's the guy.
I agree. Yeah, the verses, like, he came in. This one was really great. I love that they like touch on, like, I know this is like a touchy, not a touchy, but like I love how they touch on like COVID and the virus and stuff like that. Like that lines, you know. He said, "Made her go home, felt the virus." It's like it's all a thing. So, and Danny Brown, his verse was great, even though half the time I still don't know what he's saying.
I just love Danny Brown.
I think he just kept the energy up. He was such a good, smart feature for the opener because he has like Danny Brown is a hype, loud dude, you know, and like he gave you that on this.
Yeah. I love how the vocals kind of added to the beats. Like get the F out my I love that. I love how like the vocals added to the, you know, to the music behind it. So
and the outro to the song.
Are we
is
doing
so
song by
good.
song? Is that how we're doing this?
We're just talking about our favorite song.
Are we going in order?
We can talk about our favorite song. So I don't know.
Start with favorites. Then we get to least favorites.
Least favorites. You know, we can get to the good ones and bad ones. Even though honestly, I liked a lot on this, so I have a lot of.
Personally, have a bad favorite or least favorite song.
I have a lot of favorites.
Don't call it bad. I think of it as like what you would rank as what you listen to last. It can all be good.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree. Okay, honestly, I don't know if I have a skip on this album. There's no song. Like maybe because I'm in a different mood, I wouldn't want to listen to like The Light, but Fair. Like I'm not gonna skip it.
Fair. Let's get to the next track because Chain On was a very, you know what's so crazy? We came to this like song, and you know what's so crazy? Now he's talking about they love coming with big sounds and everything, but on Chain On it was really minimalistic in terms of the production. It was just a dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
I was a big fan of it. I was such a big fan of that.
I loved it. And Nnamdi said
it was a contrast from the intro. It was a contrast from the intro, and then also it's just like I love the production and I love JPEG Mafia. Features are what Brockhampton probably needed, if we're being real. They had 5 albums of just doing it by themselves. It's the same thing we used to say to J. Cole, kind of like, you know, Cole, you produce all these albums by yourself, maybe work with somebody. Like I think Brockhampton letting other people into the studio really helped them.
Well, it's kind of crazy to think too, like this group with 15 people and 7 vocalists needs features to be. I mean, like, and I agree. It's just kind of a crazy thought, right?
I think at the beginning it wasn't needed as much because it was so many people and people were like, "Oh my gosh!" Yeah. I think it was new, like the first saturation.
But they put out 3 albums in a year.
No, I agree exactly. But I'm saying when it was new, everybody was excited about them, and they were like, "Oh my gosh!" And then as we got to like the Iridescence and Ginger, it was like, "Okay, where's the growth coming in terms of like working with other people?" So yeah, JPEG Mafia, he killed it. He's an interesting artist. I'm not like I've listened to his solo work. He's a solid artist. It's not like my favorite. I don't go back to him a lot, but he killed his verse. I really enjoyed it.
The Duolingo line is so good.
The Duolingo, and he had Dua Lipa line.
The ink, these melodies need Duolingo, same size as Dua Lipa.
Exactly.
That's so good.
If you go down a little bit, he has something about, you know, I'm a big Dragon Ball Z guy. It's a talent perfectly balanced. Young Supreme Kai, who am I? And don't need 6 seconds. You remember Vaughn, which is a throwback to like when you're in middle school and stuff like that. So yeah, and Don McClennan killed it again. He's another standout. He had a great Marvin Gaye line.
Underrated. Don McClennan is I feel is such an underrated voice in Brockhampton.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the more.
Even when Amir was in this, I feel like people used to talk a lot about Kevin Abstract, Amir Van, Matt Champion, Joba, but like I feel like Don McLennan and like what's the dude who sings Jabari Manoir?
And there's Bareface. Like, he does a lot of singing too.
They're so underrated to me, and I feel. But Don McLennan, I can't point to a verse of his that I've listened to all their music today, and I can't point to a Don McLennan verse I don't like. But like
they're all like really so talented. It's kind of crazy how like equal, like I won't say equally, but like how like individually talented each of them are, especially like considering how they met and how they came together.
Oh, you know, met all my friends through Kanye West, and I ain't met him yet. Yeah. So if we can go to, I don't know.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Count on Me? Do we want to go in order? Or do you want to talk about? Because a lot, honestly,
you said we was going to do favorites, and we started going in order. So
but these I know I'm saying favorites, but these first 6 songs, 7 to me, are like boom, 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 boom. For like, it was the first half of the album was really, really exceptional to me. You know, I like the whole album as a whole, but the first.
I want to point out that while Noah is saying this, before we move on, I just want to point out last week during our recording when we first talked about this on new releases. Noah was like, well, Nnamdi, did you listen to it? And I was like, I've listened to half, but I'm happy to report it's a great album. And Noah was like, how are you going to report it's a good album if you listen to half? And now you see, when the first half is that strong, you know it's going to be a good album. Because like you're like, it gives you out the gate 6 straight songs that are like, honestly, the whole thing's heat. But the first 6 are like really kind of like,
oh, heat. The whole thing's heat.
You got me.
A$AP Rocky and Ferg, it's kind of putting in Count on Me and Bankroll together. They really fit with like this sound. I don't know why. And you know what's so they fit perfectly on, especially A$AP on the first on Bankroll. He's like, come in the dungeon. None. I was like,
I feel like you could have put these songs on like cozy tapes and they wouldn't have sounded out of place. Like it's kind of a similar sound. And it works with A$AP Mob, right?
I agree. Yeah, they have such an interesting.
It's the group dynamic. I don't know, but
maybe it's the group dynamic
thing kind of works for them.
It probably is a group dynamic. I wonder how they got it. I love A$AP Rocky on these songs though. It did seem like a very natural fit. I didn't realize Shawn Mendes was the chorus.
Yeah, he did the chorus. Yeah, and I don't know. It was the most A$AP Ferg on
and
Bankroll.
Ryan Baby's good too.
Ryan Baby too. Yeah. A$AP Ferg. That was the most most interesting I've heard A$AP Ferg. I'm not a big fan of A$AP Ferg, but on Bankroll, which probably had the best hook on the whole project. I got a lump in my pants. I need something like that. I don't know. It was
my first favorite song on this album.
Really?
Bankroll has been a song they've been sitting on for like years.
For a minute. Yeah, a minute.
For
a
long time.
Minute.
I wonder if this iteration. Okay, so it says here it's seen many iterations. So I was just gonna ask. I wonder if this specific song, like with the features it has, like I wonder if A$AP Mob was always on it. Is the band's first credited collaboration with A$AP Mob.
I agree.
That's dope to me.
Yeah, it was super dope, and the hook was just lump in my jeans. I got up and not them using the actual name of the song in the song.
Yes, we should probably talk about it.
Which praise God, because that was the growth. Y'all know how much I hated it because I was like, honestly, the reason, in my opinion, those songs before probably didn't chart is because I could never remember the names of any of my favorite Brockhampton songs, and that is not a good sign. I get it would have been cool for like the first trilogy, maybe. Okay, you can do it for Saturations, but when they weren't gonna stop, I was like, yeah, I can't do this shit. You're making this is too on my brain.
Yeah, so when you're like, I try to remember the name of the song, you send the lyrics and you still can't get the name. It's like, oh, but when you're like, I got a bank. Yeah, exactly. It's more interesting.
Shout out to Merlin Wood.
Merlin Wood was for me personally, I mean, they're all great too, but he had a couple moments where he's not so crazy. He's not the best, like in terms of skill, the best rapper or anything like that, but he got some of the best punchlines we'll talk about when we get to Windows. But I
think he's the most, I think he has the most distinctive voice. Like he always comes in with much energy in his voice, and I always know when it's Merlin.
Yeah, because sometimes I get Kevin Abstract and Joba confused sometimes. I don't know. I get some of them confused
really?
sometimes.
Joba screams. Whenever I hear screaming in a verse, I'm like, oh, that's Joba.
He don't scream I don't know.
So like I can point to 3 songs in here where Joba he just starts screaming.
You know, when we were talking about the first, like now that we're talking about the light, at first I thought it was just Kevin Abstract on the first track, and I was like, is this Kevin Abstract the whole thing? I thought it was just him, but man, Joba, the lyrics on here are.
Well, let me say, when the light was my favorite song. I know I just said Bankroll, but then I got to the light. I said Bankroll was my first favorite song. Then I got to the light, and I've said this so many times on this podcast, and I am a sucker for like depressing lyrics under like a banging beat, and that's this to a T. Like, and I love the contrast when that happens, but this song is so deeply personal, like so deeply personal, and it's coming from Joba, who's actually done this and like has some kind of sad verses on some of the other albums. I can't think of all the songs, but I know like that's one of the things I recognize Joba for. And I think it's significant. Joba has one verse talking about like his loss, and Kevin Abstract has the other verse talking about his childhood, and like the chorus being the light, which I want to say that I read Joba or someone saying that like when we say the light, it means like stepping into something new, like stepping into the light, stepping into hope. And I think that it was such a deeply personal song that has this amazing production on it. Yeah, absolutely one of my favorites.
I agree. The guitar or whatever behind in the back.
Yeah, this is kind of the introduction to the guitars on the album.
I agree.
Kind of after this point, keep going, because there's a couple other songs
that do it.
Having guitars after this.
Yeah, they're both kind of like talking about. Yeah, they're kind of both talking about like mental health issues in like a different way, because obviously Joba's talking about, you know, coming off the suicide of his dad. I mean, some of the lyrics, I can read it, but it's of a bloody
plans by the maker. I see no savior. Warp reflection in stainless steel. Alcohol and pill.
Well, of a bloody backdrop, skull fragments in the ceiling. Felt your presence in the room and heard my mother squealing. Ooh, I got pretty much chills listening to that. Very tough visually when you read the lyrics. It was very tough to actually like read the lyrics while listening to the song. I'm not gonna lie, it was very
I wonder
tough.
How his family felt. That's not my business, but I just wonder, because it is so deeply personal. Like we now know how his father passed, and that's that's hard.
And Kevin Abstract came from more of like, you know, just like him going through life, you know, and things going on, talking about his mom and stuff like that. Nothing as like crazy as somebody, you know, committing suicide, but something deep. He has a line on here.
Coming out to his parents.
Coming out. He said, y'all see me naked. You know, he said, y'all don't see me naked. You know, and he said, told the world who I was before I got to know Ian. So, really, 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 really personal song. I'm getting really like.
And I think like thematically, this is where the album
about
kind of
suicide. Wait, Avery, scroll back down.
Mm-hmm.
That's I was standing on the bridge. I see y'all under me. Know you are struggling. Niggas out here juggling. Dang, that's really they deep. Both get so deep. Wow,
super deep. I agree. So, I don't know, man. That was.
This is like where the album like thematically like finds its identity. I think this is where like to me, it kind of elevates itself from Brockhampton's other records in the past.
I agree. I agree. Because sometimes.
Wait, expand on that thought.
I think, and I was going to say this when we were like wrapping up, but I think that like this album is the perfect combination between something like Ginger and something like Saturation 2, where they tried to do something super deep and vulnerable on Ginger, but it was very toned down and mellow in comparison to their other music. And on Saturation, they were young. I think we're as consumers of music, like we're kind of annoying because, you know, we want to hear artists grow and do something different, and then when they do something different, we don't like it. And so, to me, this was like we met these guys when they were like kids, and they met on the internet, and now they've been together for how many years, and they've grown up together, and they're finally ready to like show themselves to us, I think. And so they're still using that Saturation 2 sound, but they're incorporating lyrics like these that are so personal.
Yeah. I agree. No, I wanted you to expand because I think that's like perfect. I think that's a really good way to put that.
Yeah, I agree.
One thing I will say that I had to correct myself on is not all of them met through a chat. Like most of them, like a solid half, they went to high school together. I didn't know that.
They're from Texas. Yeah.
Matt Champion, Joba, Kevin Abstract, and I know there's like 3 more who all just knew each other from high school.
Yeah.
Then I guess.
Yeah, Amir Van was from Texas too. Like they all knew each other. I remember they talked about how they knew each other in high school. So yeah.
So let's add the light since we're talking about thematic.
Well, I do got to talk about this. Yeah, I don't want to. You know, we don't want to stay on this for too long. But Windows is my favorite track on the project. Like I said, Windows. It includes every vocalist of Brockhampton. So Gone So Flexy. He's from Texas. He's signed to Kevin Abstract. So. And it's interesting because you go to his Instagram, he's like this hood dude, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he's so good on this song.
But
so good.
Man, when this song comes in, So Gone So Flexy, and then I'm sorry, y'all, Merlin had my favorite verse on the album. I know we just went to that. Merlin had my favorite verse on the album. Respect my tribe. I'm a dog like Fife. He had oh my God, Merlin was going in, y'all. He was going in, man. So I really enjoyed Merlin, but the reason I like this track a lot is like it took you on a journey a little bit, kind of like the first track. It sounds like something you would hear on Saturation. I know we want to keep talking about other albums, but it sounds like something you hear on that. But then, when it transitions, it says F the world and all that inhabited, and it goes into that more somber, really somber, type sound. And then you have Bareface doing the last verse. It's so many people on here, and this includes all the vocalists. It's Kevin Abstract, Joba, Jabari Manwa, Bareface, Matt Champion, Don McLennan, and did I miss somebody? I feel like I got everybody.
And then Ryan Beatty is the feature kind of, I guess, at the end of the album.
He's like a feature. He's a frequent collaborator. So yeah, I love this track all the way. The beat switches. It starts off 5 into the somber verse from Bareface. I really enjoyed it a lot. So
it's really good. I agree.
And this is like the transition. Literally, like the next song is like the boy band part, because they don't call themselves a group; they call themselves a boy band. This is like when they get on that boy band tip, which
we were saying yesterday, they're the coolest boy band, I think.
They have a lyric that is like greatest boy band since One Direction. What song is that on? I think that's on a Boogie, maybe.
It might be on Boogie. I think it's on Boogie actually. It might be on Saturation 3 though, for sure. I'll take you on.
This is the most R&B-esque song, I think, on the album. I'll Take You On. It has a Charlie Wilson feature. So that already is like a good start. I was saying before that like I didn't know how I felt about Kevin Abstract singing, but like I think it's fine. I think I was just in my head about it. But I do like the Charlie Wilson collab. I like every collab they have on here. I will give them that. I think every single collab is very well picked.
I agree. Yeah.
No, what were you about to say? It looks like I interrupted you.
No, go ahead. I was just saying, I kind of wish Charlie Wilson was on it more. He was like on the last couple seconds. I kind of wish he was on it more, like on a bridge or something like that in between.
Was he on intro and outro? Was that it?
Yeah, he was, but you couldn't really tell. He was like, he did the but he was at the end when he started singing like goodbye. Like that was him at the end. I kind of wish he was in it a little more. I don't know. Kind of like it kind of like my favorite Charlie Wilson feature of like a rap was like Tyler the Creator of effing Young. Like it kind of like I love him on that feature, so I kind of wanted him to do the hook more or something like that. I don't know. He's a better singer than all these guys, so I kind of want him to do the hook anymore. But I still like the song, so I can't complain. So that's just me. But
good.
Yeah, and it samples Bleach, but yeah. These next two songs.
Where we said that, and I still can't figure out.
I can't figure it out. It just says samples Bleach by BROCKHAMPTON. I have no idea. Avery says
I feel so unjournalistic saying that.
I literally think it's just a rewinding sound.
Yeah, but that just.
But is that a sample? That
don't really sound like a. You can use that on anything.
We're reporting an unconfirmed.
Maybe they made that sound themselves, and so technically they're sampling it by using.
I guess on a technicality, yeah. I think you're right, actually, because I'm running on the beginning of Bleach. It's like, hey, who got the feeling? Tell me why. I guess I don't know, but can we go back to these old news and what's the occasion? Because how do y'all feel about those before you talk about those two tracks in particular? Because those to me, those
I like they're the more like
both. I like What's the Occasion a lot.
Old News and What's the Occasion were the low points for me on the album sonically.
I get it.
They were the low sound. They were the low point of the album. Those
I don't know if I like What's the Occasion a lot, and I think maybe because I listen to it in order every time, it made sense coming after I'll Take You On for me. It was kind of a drug, because I think I'll Take You On was a bit more like energetic, but it still wasn't the same R&B type, alternative R&B type of bag to me.
And they still get like so personal in these songs.
It's fine. No, like the lyrics are fine.
Look, I think they sat down, and during Saturation, I feel because they were young, those lyrics didn't always make sense. Sometimes they just was saying shit, and
crazy.
We were just cool with it because it was like, the beats. I think this feels like such a mature album, but it still feels refreshing because when they have features, the production is similar to like a Saturation. It feels useful in that way.
Wish I knew what it meant when I said I love you, rips in the thread of the net I fell through.
I absolutely, I agree with you guys all the way, but lyrics don't always save a song in terms of how it sounds first. And when I listen to it,
I think it sounds good still.
I
like it.
And I don't think it sounds bad either. I don't think it's bad. There's different if I said something like, when I was talking about Megan's album, I said that was bad. This is not bad. This is just like, it's not my favorite. Like there's other songs I like way more, just personally.
I will say I like What's the Occasion more than Old News. I like What's the Occasion a lot. Like I don't know.
I like What's the Occasion more.
It gives me like Avery. I feel like you may feel me on this. Almost that shit was okay. Yeah,
this is like the perfect summation of this album. I think this lyric right here. It's like sad. And you're like,
died,
almost died. Shit was tight.
But I feel like
keep going.
I don't know. I don't want to skip to what's the occasion.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like what's the occasion is like if old news is kind of like old news to me feels more like a transition track, sort of like it doesn't really have any peaks or lows, but I do think it's just a solid track.
Old news is the one like where they're like, it's old news. The one where it's like, I did it all for you. Is that old news? I think that's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
That's what it does. Okay. I just want to make sure. Go ahead.
Probably. But I don't know what's the occasion. The intro alone, it gives me like, I don't want to say Elton John, because I don't know if that's right, but like that era of like piano rock, I guess. Like
yes, and this is the song that ends in like a rock opera, and like it sounds so cool. Such a cool new sound for them, I thought.
And Joba sings on the chorus, and I don't think I would like that, but it's so good. Joba really needs to get more respect.
I think
like,
he's the MVP of this album.
He is. This is basically Joba's song, and Matt Champion has a verse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying these songs are bad. You just know, like, that's not my type of speed in terms of music.
Deep this is. A million little pieces.
I feel you. Hey, y'all, I feel you on the lyric. It's just like personally in terms of how it sounds. It's not my speed in terms of sound. But the lyrics, I agree. Reading the lyrics, it's really deep.
A million little pieces, all add up to nothing lately. Swim within my bedsheet is something like a celebration. I think stylistically maybe it's not your beat, but I think if you're someone who is into this style, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, the rock feel of this song, I really loved.
I love it.
It's so crazy I'll say that, because Don't Shoot the Party is really my speed in terms of West Coast music and G-Funk, like on some Snoop Dogg type shit.
That was When I Ball.
We're gonna get When I Ball next.
When I Ball. Oh yeah, my bad. I skipped that. Oh shoot, When I Ball is actually one of my favorites too. It's actually interesting.
Is actually not explicit, I think, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
There's like it's like this song. Let me see. Hold on.
Always used to tell me.
I'll take you on When I Ball and Dear Lord, which is like more of an interlude.
You always used to tell me I could be anything I want to be. Yeah, this one.
I feel like this felt what did I just? Oh, the beat gave me J. Cole vibes. And so did the rapping, actually. Does Don McLennan give me J. Cole vibes?
No,
maybe.
He doesn't.
I've never made that connection.
Don McLennan's way more aggressive with his sound. J. Cole's more laid back. Like
maybe on this specific song, I got J. Cole vibes from like the first verse.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, When I Ball, it kind of sounds like
IRD. Is he a member of the band? BROCKHAMPTON?
Who?
Baird.
And I think he was like a feature, right?
Yeah, he's a feature. Baird is a feature.
Rex Orange County also helps out with this song as well.
Rex Orange County is
awesome.
That's what it reminds. Yo, Rex Orange. The last song too. That reminds me of Rex Orange County.
Yeah, this song to me felt like the most like boy bandish song on the album.
What?
This song.
Don't Show
like
the
if
Party.
you think of like, no, we're on.
When I Ball. I keep thinking of Don't Show the Party.
When I think of like a traditional like boy band song, and if Brockhampton was gonna fit that mold, this is as close as it, and it's not even that close, but this is as close as they're gonna get.
Wait a second, why does When I Ball? It just sound like a rap group.
I think when I think of boy band, I think of pop. So
I think it's like the instrumental and all that.
I don't know if I get
sugary kind of instrumental, like the strings and all that.
I guess maybe in the hook.
Can Mindless Behavior do the song? That's how we're gonna figure that out.
I don't know. But the lyrics I like. They're talking about when they were kids, like reminiscing when they were kids and stuff like that. Don McLennan's talking about. He said my uncle's going on vacation, prison also. When they came back, they needed clothes and had no souvenirs. So he's talking about his, family members going to prison and growing up in that environment. Matt Champion talks about his sister, I think. But it's, it's so crazy, and this is like their thing. It's like a really like light sound, like it's the that's a different song. But it's a really
it has like some strings,
sound,
like an orchestral background. It's really interesting.
I can see the sound being like a boy band type thing.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
In terms of the production. Yeah. Not like what they're doing vocally, but definitely with the.
Honestly, this may be my unpopular.
What's the unpopular opinion?
Go ahead.
Sorry, this may be my popular opinion. I may walk this back next week, but honestly, like if I'm thinking of like my like low point, and maybe this.
Oh,
I don't blame
oh no,
it doesn't keep my attention as long as I would like it to, because it's such a soft beat compared to like the rest of the song, and this doesn't have any of those like aggressive rapping. Like I just said, Don McLennan is kind of chill on it. Matt Champion's kind of chill on it. Joba's kind of chill on it. So I think after what the album has been thus far, this is when I just kind of be like, huh,
okay. So you're not saying you hate this sound, it's just compared to the rest. So you're saying you're not hating the song. You don't hate the sound at all. It's just compared to the rest of the.
I don't hate any of these songs.
I'm just saying, like, the way compared to the rest of the album was.
Yeah, the way you were like, those would be my low points. This would probably be my low point because, and then it comes right before this, which is like,
oh my gosh, this is a banger right here. This need to be a single. Like, hell, Dr. Dre bro. This why when I first heard him, I thought they were some Cali guys. I thought they were from California or something like that. Because of stuff like this. Because they've done this before with the, like at the beginning of 1, 2, 3 into the 4. It's literally that sound, the G-funk in it. I love it. I freaking love it. It has the gun. It's like, don't shoot up the party. Don't shoot up the broom. I go crazy. I feel like when a Crip Walk or something like that. It's so fun. I love it a lot.
This is a fun song.
And it's like their way of like talking about all the like obviously America's a violent country, but like all the shootings are going. It's like, what's the issue? Why you gotta grab that pistol? It's like they're not talking about it like a deep like, oh my gosh, somebody killed my nigga, something like that. It's like,
don't ruin a good thing. I feel like that's probably what
verse is fantastic.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
He touches on so many things in here. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm realizing this reading the lyrics as you were scrolling that I think the whole song is about like, don't shoot up the party, don't try to ruin my parade, like don't mess up what's great for me. And it's different things. Like I feel with the second verse it's more so criticism, like people who are talking shit about the band. That's what I got from Matt Champion's Matt, don't give a damn what journalists wrote, always dead inside like they in the catacombs.
Yeah.
On the prowl like a lion in his throne, watching for the prey that might slit his throat. Like that gives me like, don't F me up in that way. And then Kevin Abstract is more like on the head of like, don't stop hating on me. Like whether it's through homophobia, whether it's through like toxicity, just like let me enjoy this. Don't you?
If I know, like need it all though.
That's Nnamdi's
dedicate to my fam in Chicago. Yeah, I would really like that. Yo, when Matt, I don't know if y'all, but when I first heard Matt Champion, I thought he was black. When I first heard him, I was like, who is like, who's black? I thought he was black. Yo, if you hear me, like, he sound black. No, yes, he do. He sound black.
I listened to his solo stuff. I didn't really get that sense.
What'd you say?
I listened to his solo stuff. I'm not. I mean, I like the solo stuff.
I'm talking about before the first time you heard. Did you listen to solo stuff before Brockhampton?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No. I listened to Brockhampton before solo stuff.
No, that's what I'm saying. When I first saw Brockhampton, I heard his verse come up. I thought he was a black dude because he was a dude. And
that's your opinion.
And when I first heard him, he did sound black. But
I think we're all great.
I respect your
now
opinions.
I'm saying we're saying that now. Of course, I clearly know he's white. I listened to them for the last.
I'm just saying. I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying. For me, with Brockhampton, I always knew they were an extremely diverse band. So I always honestly assumed everybody was white until I had reason to believe they were black.
See,
Kevin Abstract, the new.
I didn't think that though.
But I never thought Matt Champion was.
Well, I'm saying it's just saying because like I don't want to stay on this, but like when we first heard Brockhampton, we didn't know who was who. I know y'all didn't know who was who. No, I didn't. I don't know y'all didn't know who was who.
Okay, we disagree. Damn it. Okay.
Saying, bro.
Dear Lord.
This next song, Dear Lord. It's like like Noah said when we were talking yesterday. It's more of an interlude than like a song in itself. But
saw somebody comment said, "Why Kanye?" Well, why wasn't Kanye on this song? And I was like, "Oh my gosh, we don't get that out of here." I know it's ridiculous. Actually, I'm surprised they haven't got the Kanye feature yet. I'm surprised actually, but this is more like an interlude to me. Yeah, really gospel
interlude.
Oh look, somebody said it. Where's the Kanye feature? That's funny.
Wait, who's singing right now? Is this Matt Champion? Who is this?
It's Bareface.
It's Bareface.
Bareface. Oh, yeah. It's none of them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like auto tune on his voice. It sounds like, right?
Yeah.
The song features multiple singers forming a choir, but Bareface's voice takes center stage. Yeah. Praying over his friend and fellow band member Joba following the suicide of his father. This is why this is their best album to be. They're just so personal, and they do such a good job with it,
And then we get to what I thought was one of the most interesting verses on the whole album.
I love this song.
Joba's verse right here.
Yeah.
It's Kevin Abstract's verse, but then Joba's second, and it's such an the first
it's like
time
a letter
I listened to it, I was like, so obviously he's reconciling with the suicide of his father, and it's like in some bars he's like, I'm gonna be okay, like it's gonna be all right. But in other bars, he's like, wow, so selfish. Why would you do that? And it was such a vulnerable and conflicting, and it's probably how people feel. I've never personally gone through it, but I have to imagine that's how people feel when they experience something like this. It's a mix of like gratefulness and like kind of some sort of like regretfulness, right? And it was so interesting to hear that on this verse.
I love it because it sounds like he's almost talking to him, because he's not talking about his dad and like, like he's like, hey, my dad. He's talking to him like, I was mad at you. He's talking about, he had a line. He had like a couple lines where he's talking about, I gotta find it exactly, but he said something like, crap. Let me find it. I'm sorry. But he basically talking about, even though you're gonna live on, the day I have kids, I'll tell them about my grandpa and how great he is, and the grandkids you'll never meet. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be. Yeah.
And he goes on to say, like, the way you left Ma hits me the hardest.
What a shame,
man. These things. It's just crazy.
The way I love this song because, for one, I just love when there's thematic like parallels or links in music, and so I'm a fan of part twos. But this in particular feels so much like, almost if like when they wrote The Light, they had the lyrics, they put it in a box, and 6 months later came back, read what they wrote, and then wrote part two. Because you can feel the growth in each of it. Like Job is now at this stage where instead of him feeling horrible that his mom has to endure this and his dad left him, I feel like he's processing those emotions more. Like he says things like, I miss you, I wish you were here to tuck me in because I'm scared as hell. Like, but I think there's also a lyric where it's like, but you like abandoned me or something like that. He is now like healed enough to just think through and actually process the emotions of losing his father. While Kevin Abstract, I think, his first verse is about coming out and like homophobia and like depression and suicidal thoughts because of that. And there's one specific bar in here where it's like, look at all these bruises I got. It gave me so much confidence. Like it's how I'm now growing from all the shit that I had to go through. Ever since I was a kid, I always felt so frightened. My mama from the ghetto.
Revolt got any nigga that keep Jesus in the combo.
Yeah,
Damn.
Me and her but no, listen, me and her just get on good terms. Thank God for them unexpected turns. Like you can see the growth from The Light to The Light part 2, and I love that. I love that in music.
Well, it's just so interesting because he's talking about how his mom got in there, Jesus in the combo, and he's like, me and her got on good terms. He's like, thank God for them. It's like, I don't know, man. It's really just real. Honestly, it's really real. They're not acting.
Very honest and vulnerable.
Really
song.
honest, real song. Because all fronts.
But I hate that you got me in this box, expecting me to see the light.
Expecting all my niggas to the right,
Why do I have to be happy? Why can't I just be sad? You're so real. I get you.
I feel you.
A great song.
To wrap it up.
ROADRUNNER.
Yeah, because so we found out on streaming services, it ends with the light.
I kind of want to buy the physical edition so I can hear what more songs they have, because they have 4 extra, I believe, songs on the.
I don't know.
Honestly, can we wait? Because that means the light, at least for most standard editions, is the end. So how do we feel about them capping off the album with the light? Do we, we just said we said how we love it and we show the growth.
I love it. I love
that as a cap on this album.
I think it's a perfect ending to this album. And if this is the end, they say they're going to release another album. Who knows? If this is the last we hear of Brockhampton as a group, at least collectively as a studio album, that's a incredible end considering where they started and where we got to. Like, I think it's so beautiful.
And we had elements of them, like they've speaked on it. Like I said, like remember we talked about like the first couple projects, they're talking about like really random stuff, but they'll have little elements of them talking about little tiny things, like little thing, not like a whole verse, not a whole thematic song about it. But they took it here, there, and me, I like the short version of an album. The deluxe songs I'll listen to on the side. But it looks like this is like an extension because it says Roberto's interlude, which they always have on their albums. But I always like the short version of a project.
We just said that, the physical.
Yeah. I always like the short version personally. Just like what they put out is like that's what you wanted they wanted us to hear for the most part. So
I'm a sucker for deluxe exclusives. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm one of the people that's like, I'll buy the physical if I like the artist enough to get the 4 extra songs. Like I damn near almost bought
might do it for this actually.
But
so we should do closing arguments.
Closing arguments and scores.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's go first.
Avery? I'll go first. Yeah,
Avery?
Avery's at the top of my screen. So
he's at the top of my screen too.
Waiting for him to
So I think back when they came out with like Saturation and all that, I think they gave us what we wanted to hear at that time. They were younger, they were new, it was like refreshing and it was cool. And like we said, we didn't really know what they were saying a lot of the time, but it was just like fun to listen to and get hyped to. and like think like, and I like I said before, I liked Iridescence and Ginger, but to me this is just like I said earlier when we were talking about it, I think this is the perfect combination of all previous 6 albums that they've come out with, and this is such a good summation. Like if we're getting to a mountain, if we're on a mountain and this is the peak, like this feels like as good as it could have gotten. And I hope, obviously I hope the next one, if there is a next one, is better, but this is like such a great album for them to do, and I think for that reason it's my favorite Brockhampton album. So, and we're doing scores, right?
Yeah.
So I think I have to go an 8.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I would say I don't have an interesting history, but the first time I heard Brockhampton, I heard "Keep a Gold Chain on My Neck." I'm in that. Boy, better treat me with respect. And I agree, it was really fun to listen to. A group of young guys who met on the internet for the most part. Not some of them, but that's what it kind of came off as. And it's just like, I think people just grew with them. They had that show on Viceland. Remember, they had that show on Viceland that that was fun. That was a fun time. I remember watching that on YouTube back in the day. Yeah, man, I think, with any artist that you really care about, you want to know their story. That's like the artists that I really truly love the most. I feel like I know who they are in some way based off their music. And Brockhampton really came through with that. And it's, that's hard to do with 7 vocalists and 15 people in the group. That's hard to do, but I do feel like I have a better sense of who these people are because of this album. I really enjoyed it a lot. There's a lot of sounds on it, but it works in a weird way. I don't know. Like there's a lot of very different, that's, and some people could say it's messy. Some people might say this is messy, but I really enjoyed it a lot. Even the songs that they're boy band part of the group, I wasn't always a fan of that, like the singing of that, but it really fit perfectly on here. And up to this point, my favorite project was Saturation 2, just based off the sounds and what they were just sonically. But having to go with like the messages on here and how deep and real they got on here, I would say this has been my favorite project so far, which is saying a lot because I really like Saturation 2 and 3 a lot. So I really enjoyed this album. Even Old News and What's the Occasion are not my favorite, but they're not bad, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a score of 8 also. I'm actually at an 8 with Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine.
Nnamdi, before you go, I didn't want to interrupt you. On their website, they have different edition for each member of this album.
What do you mean?
Different songs or just?
There's like a Kevin Abstract edition. There's a Merlin Wood edition. There's a Matt Champion edition.
That's interesting.
And they're all sold out.
Is it different songs though, or is it like does it show you the track list?
That's interesting.
It's really, I'm not sure. Maybe it's the album covers that are different. It has the 4 extra new songs.
I realized even with what's the one that had a mirror van on the cover? Is that Saturation 2?
All three of them. All three of them with mirror van.
Oh well, I think with the third one, like they had different versions that had each one on it. Because when I was googling, the cover for Project of the Week, I guess I just gave that away. I saw that there was like a Kevin Abstract picture. There was like a Joe, but there was one for all of them. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for me with this album, I just feel like this was just the most mature we've seen Brockhampton, which makes sense because they are more mature. When they came out with Saturation, they literally were in high school when they all started making music together. These were people that were 18, 19, 20 years old. And I think at the time they put out the best, most cohesive project they could, and they did a good job. They had pockets of personal, vulnerable things, but most of the lyrics were like just them just fucking rapping, and whatever came out. And I think it made sense at the time, and I enjoyed it, and we all love Saturation. But that series, I feel what I realized is years later, it didn't have sticking power as much as I wanted it to. I don't know if that many people go back to Saturation just to listen to it casually. It was great for the moment it was, but I think we wanted more depth from their music. And they tried that with Ginger, but then with that, they leaned so heavily into it that we really lacked like what we wanted from Brockhampton, which is just like energy, booming production. And with this, it's like they've learned, they've gotten together, they sat down, they were open to hearing criticism, they let other people into the studio with them, and they put out easily their best album yet. To me, that wasn't even a debate. I love Saturation 3, that was my previous favorite, but this took that spot from them because this is just a more mature version of Saturation 3. Like you see the growth, And I hate that this is now the end of this trilogy because I wanted to see where, I want to see what's next. I want it to be, it's called Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine. I want to feel that new light, new machine. Like, give me more, But I really, really do enjoy this album. I appreciate how personal they got, how insightful they got, how does the ability they have to reflect now, really. I appreciate that. And to me, the rapping was fire, the production was fire, the features were fire, and I really don't have any straight up skips. Though there are, like I said, there's some moments where I think the energy dips, but I don't really. I think that's more so to me than I would hold it to the album. So right now, like, are we doing halves or are we just doing whole numbers? I know we alternate because I feel like
halves. I thought it was 8 to me. It was 8 to me.
So. My stomach, my gut wants to say a 9, but I think I'm gonna say that's just because I listened to it and I think next week I'd want to say 8.5. So I'm gonna go with 8.5. Because I honestly, like, I'm not sure what I would want to be better. And typically if something's not perfect and I'm saying here's what I'd want to be improved, like, I can't point to that easily on this album. Like, the features are great, the production was great, the writing was great to me. So, I think screw it, I'm gonna go with the 9. So they're getting a 9 for me. So does that put us at 8.5? I just did that quick math.
Yeah, something like that. 25 divided by 3.
I don't think it's a bad thing. It's all personal scores. I think everything works for me. But
okay.
I'm excited to see
that may be the highest score we've given. Have we given an album a higher score than an 8?
I'm glad we just did a review of an album we liked. We haven't done that in a long
time. Yeah, now I'm excited to see him live because I saw him live in 2019. They did a show like down the street from me. So
is Brockhampton? No, y'all. I think this is the highest score we've given an album that we reviewed.
I think
it maybe. I think so.
Was Run the Jewels? What was that? Jewels, Phoebe.
I think Run the Jewels might have it because I'm pretty sure I gave Run the Jewels a 9 or 10 probably.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can't imagine anybody give Run the Jewels lower than an 8. If somebody did, then.
Yeah, no, I think we need to go back and I want to like have a list of all the scores we've given our albums.
Yeah. Let's say this the highest and Megan Thee Stallion the lowest. Oh no, actually no.
Ty Dolla Sign.
Ty Dolla Sign.
Ty Dolla Sign.
That was
the lowest.
Noah gave Mega 3.
No, Sydney was with us for Mega. She liked it.
She gave her an 8. She gave it 8.
Okay. She liked it.
It was not around that would easily been the lowest. We love you, Meg, just not that album.
That was bad. Okay. Yeah.
Billboard highlights. Our weekly segment of Billboard stuff. Noah, you filled it out this week. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Somebody sent in the group chat, our Twitter group chat.
It was me.
It was Nnamdi. Anderson .Paak's first entry on the Billboard 100 is number 1 with Leave the Door Open, which is super. Yeah, clap, round of applause, Avery.
I'm not clapping for that.
Finally.
Finally. That's not a good thing?
You want me to be happy that Anderson .Paak, despite making amazing music over the last 10 years, has not charted on this once? That's disappointing.
Hold on.
I'm happy that the first time is number 1, but I hate that he needed Bruno Mars for people to realize how great he was.
True.
Like, Anderson .Paak has been Ventura came out 6 years ago, damn near.
Longer
5 maybe. I'm not actually sure.
Longer than
6 years ago. Like, he's been making quality music. So I was actually kind of upset when I realized that the first time he's ever been on the Hot 100 was this song. Like, I don't know. It's very bittersweet for me.
Yeah, but a lot of artists I love haven't been on the charts, had touched it at all. So I'm not going to be mad about that. It's like going to the championship going to the championship 10 years later and winning. It's like Chris Paul, if he won the championship now, his first time going to the finals. It's like something like that. It's like he won the championship when his first try. I think it's awesome. So yeah, that was really awesome. Also, if you go down to number 8, I believe, Olivia Rodrigo has another debut. Not debut, but this song debuted on the top 10 at number 8. So Avery, you love the song? You like the song a lot?
I love both these songs she's come out with. Her album comes out May 21st. Very excited. I'm buying all the Olivia Rodrigo stock. I'm in. I'm all in.
Oh, I thought you said you're buying all the merch, the album, everything. I was like, oh, word.
No.
You said, oh, no, not that, but.
I'm buying all the Olivia Rodrigo stock. I'm very invested in her success as an artist now because I think
awesome.
With these 2 songs, she's been fantastic.
The interesting thing to me about Leave the Door Open before we get off that is it went to number 1 in its 5th week. Last week it was number 3. And I just think right now the Billboard Hot 100 has been so transient over the last couple of weeks. And we saw this last year too, where every single week there was a different number 1. Because over the last month, we've had Peaches, we've had Up, we had Call Me By Your Name, now we have Leave the Door Open.
So it's already more exciting than last year.
Well, I mean, last year it was like that too, though. Because I remember this time last year it was like Stuck With You, then it was like Rain on Me, and then it was
That's
like.
true.
Avery, are you talking about the variants of music though? Like the type of music?
I just felt like for a long time everything kind of stayed the same, at least for a few week stretches.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the number one was different, but I feel like the same type of artists and same songs
like
are always
the
in the top
5
10.
or top 10, but and that's
true.
not different here. The top 10 has been pretty like stagnant
Levitating
the last couple of weeks.
Weekend, yeah. So I agree.
Anyway, so then on the Billboard 200, I saw what you wrote, that Demi didn't beat Justice, but I will say, like, the more interesting thing here for me is that Justice has this much buying power 3 weeks in. Like, it's number one. I was hoping Demi Lovato would debut at number one, but like this chart also has been weird lately, because last week Rod Wave was number one with Soulfly, and I wanted him, and I predicted that would be a 1 week stay. But for Justice to outsell Demi Lovato, and I'm actually pretty sure I read an article about this, that it was very close. Like, I think it was 74K for both of them, and it was literally a difference of like 10,000 albums.
Really?
They're both managed by Scooter Braun too, so I'm kind of mad at him. I'm like,
Lord.
you should have spaced these out more. Like, what are you doing?
He want the money. He want the money.
He knows what he's doing.
He want the money.
But the Demi Lovato album was really good. So they beat at number 2. Yeah, I think that's fine.
What's up?
The other thing I was gonna point out is DMX. He has returned to this chart. Of course, he unfortunately it's because he's passed away. That's
which album?
That's sad, but it's his greatest hits album, and it's not even. I think
okay,
it's like
got you.
76.
Yeah, I expect that to go higher in his singles and stuff like that. 73.
73. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right next to the Tupac's greatest hits album.
And the Guns N' Roses one. He's in between 2 greatest hits albums.
Interesting. Yeah, I expect to see a lot of DMX singles coming up. This was on our headlines, but his funeral's coming up at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect to see DMX on this chart very soon. RIP. So yeah. So
I mean, would this have been the week? Actually, I'm kind of.
I don't know, but it's gonna.
Actually, I don't. This Loki may have just made us be here, because I don't know if this would have been the week based on when that happened.
Maybe, I don't know, but he was sick too. Remember, he was sick. Remember, he was sick for a while. It was like a week.
Yeah,
it was like a week. Not
so,
sick, but he was in the hospital for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're right. Next week we may see some more. But damn, rest in peace again to
sad. So sad.
That is really sad.
Really sad. Projects
of the week.
Nnamdi, go ahead.
You guys go ahead. Go in order.
Should I go first and then not? Hey, Avery, are you saturation 1? Hold up.
I'm not.
That would have been great.
That'd be kind of fire.
Well, I mean, I think I just picked my favorite Brockhampton.
Compton.
And that's the Saturation 3 is just my favorite. Boogie, I think up until literally this album was my favorite opening of a Brockhampton album, and it maintains that energy throughout cinema. It's the only Brockhampton album I still have completely saved on Spotify. All the other ones got axed out a while ago. So yeah, I just like it. So you're gonna see, I just wanted an excuse to put some of the songs on our playlist this week. So that's the only reason I did that. Check out Saturation 3.
Yeah, honestly, I should have just picked Roadrunner, but I wanted to pick something different. But I listened to Roadrunner a lot this week.
We all reviewed it.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, okay, I'm saying I'm pretty sure I listened like 10 times. Don't be an ass.
I'm saying, of course you did. We reviewed it.
I'm saying I listened to it way more. I'm saying,
is this our first pod argument?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so
for no reason
argument ever.
Because I just talked about
like that. Like, oh my, where's that coming from?
It looks like it came from you, because I was just talking about Project of the Week and you came in and put it in.
No,
never mind.
I was just saying I love to listen to the album reviewed 10 times. I'm a fan.
I'm saying I listen. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Okay. Thanks, Nnamdi, for ruining this. So yeah, but while I was at the gym, I listened to a lot of Saturation 2. It was my favorite project up to this point. It's a Saturation that I love the most. The first one was not my favorite. It's not. I don't go back to that often, but Saturation 2 and 3. So I picked 2, and 2 is my favorite album. So yeah, I love Saturation 2 a lot.
My project of the week is Live or Live on Ice by Toby Lou. He's from Chicago, actually. I think he's Nigerian too. So yeah, some fun connections there.
Shout out Nigeria.
But his music just randomly came up after I got done listening to Brockhampton, and I didn't like change it to anything else. So then like the radio started playing on Spotify, and then this came up. And it was pretty fun. It was like some nice vibey, like rap music, poppy.
Vibey.
It was pretty good.
Vibey.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. So I was like, oh, who's this guy? And I kept listening more. So pretty good.
Oh, and he played baseball. I just looked when he played baseball, so he's just for you.
But we talked about Toby Lee before. I don't remember who. Maybe it was Avery before, but I remember talking about him before.
Is it Toby Nigwe? Did we talk about Toby Nigwe?
No, Toby Lou, because my friend Miguel put me on to him, and I remember being like, oh, I think we've talked about them on the pod.
Interesting.
He's pretty good though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Fun music.
Yep.
So I guess that does it for this week. So there we go. So if you came in wanting to know how you felt about Brockhampton, we liked it. So 8.3, the 97 Nnamdi review for Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine. Per usual, thank you for watching the 97 Demo. Please share and subscribe our stuff. Tell your friend about us. And look forward to our playlist next week, which right now is going to be very Brockhampton heavy.
Shout out to all the people who listened to the last episode, because we got like 60, 70 views on that. Shout out to all the people that listened to that interview we did with
Shout out to Jonathan Mann.
Yeah, shout out to Jonathan Mann. You know what I'm saying?
If you happen to be listening again, Jonathan Mann with 2 N's, thank you for helping us break down NFTs. Go buy NFTs into Brockhampton now, since we all know how that works. But thank you for watching. We'll be back next week, and yeah, enjoy the show.